And welcome back to PHHS Channel 6, your home to high school football in Memorial Stadium, where today we witnessed the first half of the Port Huron Big Reds. They're 3-3 coming in versus the Fraser Ramblers, 5-1 coming in. We expected maybe a different first half than what we got. Port Huron a 14-6 lead at halftime. And what's your thoughts on the first half? Obviously not maybe what we expected, but a good one nonetheless.
I was startled by the way the Big Reds came out when they jumped out on it. And for the exception of one bad move, they had a touchdown on the first play. They shook it off. They scored a touch, came through with a two-point conversion. It was incredible to see the Big Reds come out of the gate with such energy. On the flip side, Fraser didn't.
All right, here's the opening kickoff of the second half. And they boot it again, and it's an onside kick. And there's no way they got that. There wasn't even a touch. Fraser never touched the ball. But then again, if I can recall, does it not have to go 10 yards and then?
It does have to go 10 yards, yes.
I think it did, so maybe that is Port Huron's ball.
Yeah, Port Huron onside kick. What an incredible way to start the second half. From going from potentially having to look at defense to starting out basically what they did in the first half.
Yeah, my mistake. That was a beautifully done onside kick, and they got it back. Thought for a minute there it wasn't touched, and it wasn't touched, but still, they got it back. Tony Washington, the carry on first and 10, and he got about 1 yard there. Interesting, you don't see that too often. Just the other side not even getting the ball at all. It goes 10 yards easily, and they get it back.
Yeah, generally it's a kick to one of the bigger guys, and they can't quite handle the ball, and they lose it, and then the defense pounces on it to keep it. But that was, the ball just took a perfect hop that time. It hit at the right time and hopped over the first guy. And that was a good effort on the outside, the headhunter's part, to get to the ball.
But you couldn't ask for a better result for sure. The snap again to Tony Washington. He takes it for about 2 yard gain. And wrapped up there by number 20, Matt Duhamey.
There was a whole host of Fraser defensemen in on that one.
As usual.
As usual. They do very, very well swarming the football, especially on this big round. But of course they're keying on it now too.
Oh, like we said earlier, it does become predictable after a while. So that makes it 3rd down and 8. So they got nothing on that last play. Men in motion, William Knight. William Knight bumps into Cranford, fumble. But William Knight did pick that, or John Scott, sorry, that's not William Knight, it's John Scott. He picked the ball up. But that's not a good sign to see your both backs bumping into each other and then a fumble.
Yeah, that was a mix-up there. Somebody was supposed to go high and somebody was supposed to go low, and they both went low. And it resulted good effort to get back on the ball, but that's not the way that they should have came out, especially after such a good kick.
Okay, that'll make it 4th down and 14, and there's no doubt about this. TJ Young is back to punt this one away for the Big Reds.
Only the second time this game, though.
Back to return Brendan Levy. And a wobbly kick that's taken at the 19, dropped. They might have got that back, I'm not sure. Levy jumped on it, but Port Huron's hands might have got that back. We'll have to wait and see.
I think Levy's got that one.
Levy had it, but I tell you, that's as close as you get.
That's definitely got the football coaches for Fraser a little bit frightened. He is supposed to, if nothing else, at least catch the football or stay totally away from it.
Okay, a bit of a break there on the fumble for Port Huron as it pushes them back to the 18-yard line. Fraser, that is. They are deep in their own end. So Sorgi brings his team out of the huddle, and a blitz being shown by Port Huron here. They're in the I formation. The pitch back. Number 32, John Hammer, he gets a kind of a hole to the outside and gain about 6.
That was a nice little sweep right there. It sprung them for a few yards. I don't think that Fraser was looking for anything wonderful on that, but just to get the momentum going.
We have a flag on the play. It's holding against Fraser. That is going to push them back. And there's those stupid penalties again. Hurts you, Alex.
This game has been full of insane penalties on both sides. Both teams just
and if you are just joining us, Derek Wark, Alex Rogers calling this game today from Memorial Stadium, where the Big Reds 14 and the visiting Fraser Ramblers 6. And as we mentioned, a bit of a surprise. And again, a big surprise there, obviously, a big 10-yard penalty. That's no good.
Yeah, on a 6-yard run, that hurts. That sets you 4 yards in the hole.
1st and 20, and they are far back now. They mark it on the 7. Port Huron again showing blitz. They bring the secondary man in. Give to John Hammer up the middle. And that's a face mask right there, I believe.
That hole was so big. That was just an incredibly great block by the entire lineman, and they came through, and there was nothing that the Big Reds could have done. And incidentally, they just grabbed him right by the face mask and whirled him around.
Well, if that is a face mask, which it is, that's a 15-yard major, and that will give the yards right back.
That's, again, I can't emphasize this enough, how that it would have been better to let the guy get hit by the cornerback and pick up the extra 6 yards than it would have for the linebacker to come across and face mask him like that.
I believe that is as well an automatic first down. Yes, it is.
Yes, absolutely. And I can definitely see come Monday these teams are going to run a lot and they're going to get yelled at a lot for these penalties. It doesn't matter who wins or loses.
Well, they are saying second down, but nonetheless it is very short. It's about a yard, so I imagine they'll get it. But you're playing in the other team's hands with that stupid penalties. That's giving them the yards right back.
Yes, that's just making the football game harder on you than it already is.
A lot of men up front for Port Huron on the defense. They are all bringing them all in with a blitz, I would guess. And Knick is down right there. And I don't know if he got back to the original line or not.
That was great. The Big Red D line got in there so quick. They had him wrapped up, and he was 3 or 4 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Well, they are saying that he did get the first down, Knick. I don't know how. It didn't look from this angle that he did, but
no, he did spin around, and maybe he created some momentum off that spin and lunged or something.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line. And Sorgi now to give to Hammer again. A lot of speed outside if he can get there. And to the 40, 45, look out, 50. We have a flag down. He's down at the 45-yard line, but that is coming back. That is a holding, I believe, on Fraser.
Corey Hunt came through and just shoestringed him just enough to knock him so he could maintain his balance.
I'm almost sure of it, that's a hold.
You couldn't see holding. What is he watching?
And we'll get the official word from the referee. Yes, it is a hold on Fraser. That's there you go again. Sloppy play the first half, or second half. First little bit of the second half.
Coming out like that is not the way that you want to start a football game, or coming out of the gate and starting the second half of this football game, because it creates an attitude on the team that, you know, well, what are we supposed to do? We keep committing penalties and they're going to get down on themselves, and that's not the way you want to play. Fraser's got too much on the line, and Big Reds, this is a big game for them themselves.
Well, that's going to make it 1st down and 17 now. We've seen a lot of 1st down repeats because of these penalties. Not a very exciting second half to start this quarter off. Sorgi the pitch back to Hammer. Hammer looking like he's going to throw. He does. He throws deep. Wide open man. Overthrows the intended receiver, number 24, Brandon Levy. They had him wide open, didn't they?
Brandon Levy was just out in the flat all by himself. Big Reds chose to ignore him. Hammer almost got popped by Will Knight coming around the back end. He just got the football off, and that was a nice toss. But I can't get over the penalties in this penalty-ridden second half.
But a good call there. Obviously, maybe mix this offense up more.
Absolutely, yes. That kind of caught PH off guard. They weren't ready for that, because Fraser came out and they ran a lot to start the second half, and Big Reds got comfortable with the run, and they shocked them.
2nd and 17 now from the 22. Sorgi back. He gives to Knick, and he's got a big hole there. 1st down. Maybe not. He's close to it, down on the 39-yard line, maybe the 40. They are marking him just past the 39, and that looks to be enough for a 1st down. I think they're going to measure this one.
That was a nice run again. That was a great big hole for him to come up through. Connecticut didn't have to really contend with anybody until he got into the deep backfield of the Big Reds defense.
But Knick, I don't think, really earned that one. I think it's tremendous blocking. He had a huge hole, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that was just incredible blocking by the offensive line. And that was smart running. He came out on the slant, and he did a good job staying away from everybody for as long as he could. And to be down is 17 yards from him first, he picked up quite a bit of yards. That was a good play.
And it's close. They're saying 1st down, 1st and 10 now for Fraser from the 39-yard line. So a 17-yard pickup. That's big.
That was a great play. That huge hole helped, and that's going to get some momentum going. Hopefully Fraser can put something together, and without some foolish penalties, maybe we can get this football game going back to where we left it off at the end of the first half.
Actually, it was
That was an exciting end to the first half.
Very exciting. Sorgi brings his team out of the huddle. They're in the I formation as usual with 2 wideouts. And the snap, and the toss back to Kinnick, and he is grabbed right away and down. Will Knight, tremendous defense.
Will Knight came through like a freight train and just pounded him.
Nobody picked him up.
Kinnick didn't even see him. He didn't have time to.
That's what you have the fullback there for, to pick somebody up, and I don't know.
I don't know what the fullback was doing there, but Knight is so big and so fast that you cannot ever have him on the field and not at least have an eye on him. And they didn't that time, and Knight made him pay.
Second down and 16 now, as it is on the 33-yard line. They give again to Kinnick. Good run, he's got outside. If he takes it, he does, to the 40, 45, and down to the 42-yard line.
Hit by Matt Prevost that time.
47, my mistake.
Canuck is coming out. He's got putting some great runs together.
24 yards on 2 runs, that's big.
Yes, he's got some wheels, and when he gets it out into the outside, the offense is doing a good enough job of blocking for him so that when he does that little sweep left and he gets out here to about the hash marks or so, he's wide open.
Okay, that makes it 3rd down and 3 now. Ball marked on the 47-yard line. And a big play here. I would guess blitz. Will Knight coming in, I think. Yes, there he goes. Nobody picks him up, but hammer the handoff, nothing doing. Too good defensively. Number 59 among leading blockers for Port Huron. Roger Lefevre. Good defense, wasn't it?
Very good defense. That's that PH defense that they left off with in the first quarter, where their defensive line was doing an incredible job staying up to this bigger offensive line. They were taking the gaps, running their slant ins, and they were getting in there and getting in on him.
That's the one thing I noticed about these Port Huron teams. They've really improved since the first game of the year, both of them have.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. This practice has really honed up their skills.
Here is the punt. They send men in, and they just missed it. Tony Washington going to let that one roll, and again, a good Fraser bounce. That's going to roll to the 18-yard line, so you couldn't ask for a better job than that.
So that's going to be a tough field position for the Big Reds to start from. Let's see if they can put together some stuff and stay out of some penalty trouble that they appeared to be getting into.
And they are ahead in this one, 14-6. Some good running early in the first half for them, getting the 2 touchdowns.
Will Knight did a phenomenal job on that defensive stand, getting in, putting pressure on the runners and on the quarterback. He hurried him a couple of times. He had just one incredible sack. And
this is the best I've seen him all year, really.
That's what the Big Reds needed.
A fake handoff there and a lot of twisting around, but eventually it was number 45, Ricky Johnston, with the carry, and he got about 5 yards there. They do a lot of that, don't they? A lot of fakes in the backfield.
They do. That is how they create their offense. They try to fool the defense. They make the defense tackle everybody and then find out who's got the football.
So 2nd and 4 from the 24 now. 4:57 to play, 3rd quarter. And again in motion is John Scott. And instead it's a keeper again to Ricky Johnston. A big hole there, and he busts through for about 8 yards to the 33. That's a 1st down.
That's a good 1st down for the Big Reds. They finally getting their running game back on track from where they left it. Not D'Angelo Sanderson, he graduated. Tony Washington is not carrying the ball so much, and that's starting to fool them, because when they came out, Washington was the sole possessor of the ball, and now it's fooling Fraser. Other people are carrying it, and that's working in Big Red's favor.
You mentioned Sanderson. I heard some big things about that guy. Nonetheless, carry outside. This is, again, John Scott gets about 4 or 5. I guess Sanderson, one of the best they've ever seen in these area here.
Watching D'Angelo Sanderson actually reminded me of some of the best backs in the NFL. He had just 1.5 million moves. He was so fast and so smart. And their backfield combination, they had Sanderson, Washington, Rathje got in on some of the running, and they were incredible.
That's maybe why they won it all, I would say.
Yes, they had that Mac White title, and that's why.
Okay, Fraser showing blitz. I don't think they came in, though. Washington breaks free for about 1 or 2. On the tackle, number 21, Kevin Wilner, whose name we've heard a lot of, speedy defensive back.
The Big Reds actually have a fairly good team here this year. They're not off to a bad season, but I can see that they're obviously missing some of the people that they had last year. They had Dave Taddy in the linebacking position, and they had a couple other great players, and they're really starting to miss those people, some people with some size. Like I said, Taddy was a real big boy. Sanderson was a pretty big boy. Ratchie was a big boy.
And they're hard to replace, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
All right, the hike to Washington again. He's around the outside and taken down right there by number 34, Joe Cuccinello, sorry. A 5'10 senior, 190-pound linebacker.
He's one of the smaller ones on the team. But that was good defense. They stayed on their spots, and they knew what PH was going to do. They had a good idea, and they stuck with their defensive plan. It worked out well for them. They pinned Washington in, and he had nowhere to go.
Will Knight checks in for the short running down for Port Huron. And Washington drops back the punt this time and gets off a pretty good punt. They're not even out there defending it, or receiving it, sorry. And a good Port Huron bounce. That's going to roll all the way to the 16, where it's touched up. They didn't even have a guy back there. They didn't expect that at all, even on a 4th down.
No, they did. I'm actually kind of surprised that PH is coming out and doing that, but they've got that little bit of cushioning. They've got, that 8-point lead that they have, and it's they're feeling confident enough with their defense right now that they can do that, especially with the offensive errors on both sides. They don't need to risk giving them good field position. They'll just boot away and try to play some defense.
And it is refreshing to see, because I've said in past games, I have noticed that they didn't have a kicking game, didn't use a kicking game, gave the other team really good field position.
Yes, that hurts. They have phenomenal runners, but if it doesn't work out, they're in a lot of trouble.
Port Huron is blitzing. Sorgi up the middle of the tight end. No. He had to hurry that throw, and he hurried it a little too much, I think. Intended receiver, number 88, Jason Smolar, is the tight end. And it'd be 1st down and 10 from the 17 again. 2nd down and 10, my mistake.
He was very hurried on that play. A great pass rushing by the Big Reds. They have figured out how to get through the pocket, or get into the pocket, excuse me, on the Fraser football team, and they've really started to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and on the setbacks.
Okay, so 2nd down and 10, as I said, 2:27 left, 3rd quarter, 14-6 Big Reds. They're using in the usual I formation. They give to the running back again. He's going to throw, but he overthrew intended receiver number 24, Brandon Levy, yet again. That play now has worked twice. Levy was open again.
I don't know if it's the running back throwing it too hard, if Hammer's just throwing it too hard, or what the play is, because Levy is always about 3 or 4 yards behind the ball.
And Levy, to me, looks like he's got game-breaking speed. He looks to be beating the secondary every time.
Yes, he's definitely getting through, and he's definitely wide open. But I don't know what the problem there is.
Okay, once again in the I, double wide out set. And a blitz coming, and he's got nothing to do with that one. A huge loss, and a big sack.
Big.
Number 71 on that sack, Will Cartanga.
That was a big defensive stand by the Big Reds.
Cartagena, actually, Will Cartagena, senior, 6'1", 210 defensive lineman, finally broke through.
That's that Big Reds. I think what's happening here is now that we're in the 2nd half, the offensive linemen on Fraser are bigger, and they're starting to get tired, and they're losing that quick step. And Big Red's smaller guys are getting through there, and they're getting a good chance at these guys, and that proved it right there.
So 4th and 21, they will punt from the back of their end zone. And a bad snap. He does just get it off, but it's a bad punt. That's going to keep rolling about the 27-yard line. Big break for Port Huron there, a bad snap.
That was incredible. Port Huron's going to have great field position, and then the punt didn't take that took a neutral bounce, actually. That thing hit the field and rolled directly right, so look for PH to come out and try to run a lot this time. They might even, it tends to be about now that they try to mix it up a little bit. There's about 1:30 left in the 3rd quarter. They might start throwing a little bit more to see if they can spook this defense. And once they set them back a little bit, then they'll switch back to their running game again.
Yep, that's a good call. They might catch him sleeping. Washington gets the call again, and he breaks through one, breaks another, and brought down after a gain of about 7. A good gutsy run there by Tony Washington.
His running style is phenomenal. He just puts his head down and he goes. he is very hard to stop.
Looks to be a little slippery too.
Yeah, he's strong, but he's not very big, and he's hard to grab a hold of.
Makes it 2nd and 3 from the 20. I would guess this is their Washington keeper. No, instead this is John Scott in motion. And I think it went up the middle instead, number 45, Ricky Johnston, who got about 3, and I think that might be enough for a first down. We'll see. Yes, it is. First down, Big Reds.
So the Big Reds played that defense perfectly, and it set them up so well that they couldn't ask for a much better field position to start it out. And they're starting to convert now, and they're playing some good offense.
Will Knight once again checking in. And now 1st and 10 from the 16. Big Reds look to be in total control of this second half to this point. Will Knight in motion. Washington follows him around the outside and breaks one tackle. Can't break the other. Gets about 2 or 3. There's a flag on the play. And that might be coming back.
This seems to be the way that they started the first quarter, too. Fraser not quite settled in yet, not quite sure of what's going on, and the Big Reds running game is just walking over them. To make this a football game, hopefully we get to see the Fraser defense settle down, calm down, get used to this again, and come back in.
And we have a false start, actually, on the Big Reds. That's going to push them back 5. Stupid penalties again.
The penalties here, I haven't seen a game where either team has taken this many penalties in quite a long time. I don't know if it's getting a little bit later, and it might be that the weather started to cool off a little bit, and it's starting to get to the players somewhat.
It's got to be frustrating as a coach, though.
Yes, definitely, because you go through all that work from toward the end of summer till now to teach these guys that those are foolish things to do, and they continue to do them anyways.
Well, there they are again in full motion, the offense. The offensive setup. John Scott in motion, it goes off him and a fumble, and they recover. Oh, that's just stupid. Number 88 jumps on that ball, and I think we have a flag here, possible unsportsmanlike play. A little too much celebrating, I believe.
Smolars came through there, and he just pounced on that football. Big Reds, that was an incredibly foolish mistake on their part. He hiked it right into the side of number 24, I believe, John Scott on that, who was just coming across. It looks like he was going to pick up a block or something.
Oh, that's just bush league right there.
Yeah,
I mean, you hit the man in motion.
Yes, that was bad. That was probably a mixed signal on between the man who was calling out the cadence and the center. It was obvious that that was meant to be a delayed cadence, and the center didn't know it and snapped the football.
Okay.
That is actually going against Fraser, as I mentioned. That might be unsportsmanlike conduct. But I would believe then, if that's the case, they do keep the football. We'll see what the official call is. And I'm not really sure what they called.
Illegal use of hands?
That will push them back, but nonetheless, I believe they do keep the football.
That was a devastating mistake to the Big Reds. They're all walking down. Their heads are kind of hanging now. They can't believe that after such a great defensive stand, they commit such a foolish act. Hopefully, they can keep their heads in it and get back in this football game.
Well, the officials have called timeout now to go over and talk to the Fraser head coach, Ray Barr. He is confused about the actual call, and so am I for that matter. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see anything, but I would think if illegal use of the hands, they would not get the football back. That's what puzzles me. But
that would seem to me that they did something to create that, and that they should not receive the football. No.
Okay, familiar Fraser set now. Sorgi back. He hands off to Canuck, and a right away tackle and a beauty. Number 42 on that one. Corey Hunt with the tackle and a beauty.
That was a great tackle. That was a good effort by quite a few of them to get in there and stop that. I was actually kind of predicting the same thing myself. I was really expecting Canuck to come up and try that. That worked for them for quite a while, and apparently that Big Red defensive line has adjusted to that.
Okay, that is the end of the third quarter with the score, Port Huron Big Reds 14 and the Fraser Ramblers 6. This is Channel 6 CPHS in Port Huron. We'll see you in a moment with the fourth quarter. Welcome back. Fourth quarter of play here at Memorial Stadium. We have a 14-6 Big Red lead. CPHS Channel 6 coverage of high school football. And it's second down and 10 for Fraser at the 11.
They've got quite a task.
They give again to Canuck. Shakes outside, gets another block, and brought down to the 21-yard line. That's enough for a first down, I believe. Fans yelling illegal block, and that might have been the case, but the referee did not pick that up.
Roger Lefebvre in on that tackle for Port Huron.
And I thought he had the first down from this angle, but he doesn't. He's well short. He's got 2 yards to go.
And Fraser's working out quite a hole here. They started back quite a ways.
This would be a heck of a drive if they could punch it in, though.
Yes, and the way that Fraser eats the clock, that would be interesting to see what Port Huron, or the way that Fraser doesn't eat the clock, it'd be interesting to see what Port Huron comes back with if they try to score real fast or if they try to keep it to themselves as long as possible.
And for that reason, obviously an important drive. Port Huron a blitz. Instead they avoid it well. Look out, John Hammer at the 35, 40, up to the 40 now, 45, 50. Look out, he's got a lot of room to run. 45, shakes off one tackle, fighting, down to the 36-yard line. A beauty run there. No flags, it was clean.
That was phenomenal. That was Hammer getting into the open field, using his skills and his talents, evading a bunch of tacklers. Finally, it took a running back to tackle a running back. Tony Washington finally wrapped him up enough to pull him down.
That's a good 45-yard run. That's one of the first big scampers we've seen in a long, long time.
Since the opening kickoff. That was a beautiful run, executed perfectly. Much credit to the offensive line and to pretty much the whole offense to pick up Big Red defenders.
Yeah, he had some room outside. And it was a blitz nonetheless, too. That was what I don't understand. Again, up the middle, they avoid the blitz again. This is Hammer again outside. Look out, 15-10. Push that up bounds 4-yard line. Oh, great run again. We have a flag on the play. It was thrown late.
Once again, Tony Washington ended up having to knock him out of bounds.
I don't know what this is. It's against Port Huron. Interesting.
They're just going to decline that one and take the yardage.
Well, there was a chopping motion by the referee. That might be a chop block or something to that nature. We'll have to wait and see. Mark that first and goal now. I would guess at the inch mark, if that were in fact the penalty.
Yes.
The referee discussing with the players what they're going to do here. So it looks like first and goal from the 2. If that penalty doesn't kill them, obviously they probably would have scored anyways.
Yes. I am expecting either Canuck or Levy to get the, or Canuck or Hammer to get the ball on this one. They have come out to start this, and Big Red coaches showing that they want a timeout.
Port Huron has called timeout. They were signaling forever, and the referee did not pick that one up.
I'm expecting that one of the running backs are going to come out because they have just started this third quarter incredibly. They came out of the locker room, pumped up, psyched up. As soon as they touch the football, and it's almost always turned into something positive for them.
If they should score here, this would make a much more exciting second half of play for sure. As opposed to that third quarter, as you mentioned, that was very sloppy.
Yes, that was poorly executed by both sides. They couldn't stay out of penalty trouble. But they've come out and started this fourth quarter. We're not very much into it, and they've done an incredible job. As far as Fraser is concerned, they've done an incredible job moving the football. And the 45-yard run, that's definitely highlight film quality right there.
And then another big 20-yard run after it.
Right, the next play. They're really moving the ball well, especially Hammer. Hammer's having a very good game.
I'm not sure how much you got the first half, but the second half has been all Hammer, really.
Yes. Canuck actually, I think he contributed a little bit more than Hammer did in the first half.
Yep. Good balance of backs they have in Fraser. All right, Sorge to give the Hammer right away. Dives, no, it's a fake.
Sorge.
Touchdown. It bought me, I'll tell you. I had that fake bought, but however, Fraser Ramblers in there with a touchdown.
Sorge coming through. Had everybody in the entire stands, and I think the people at Taco Bell thought that Hammer had the football too. And Sorge went in, could have walked into the end zone. He was holding the football out in front of him, showing everybody that he had it, and there was nothing Port Huron could have done.
That's what you were trying to tell me. You were trying to tell me something off the record here. Nobody bought that, and I was faked. I got to tell you that.
I was looking for Hammer to have the football myself.
Obviously, they are going for the 2-point conversion, so they hand off again to Hammer. He fights, nothing doing. A wall of tacklers there.
That was a beautiful defensive stand for Port Huron. Now, Port Huron knows that they have a little bit of a lead. Watch them to come out and try to move the football 1 yard at a time as much as possible and kill this game that way.
That's twice now they've gone down the field and missed 2-point conversions.
And those conversions are important.
Yep. Well, they get them both and they're winning this game, so.
Yes.
But that definitely picks the excitement up of this one now. 14-12, anything goes again. But I'm not so sure about that call. Just an innocent little handoff on a conversion. I would think you'd maybe do a fake or something.
Yes, I would have tried something a little bit more elaborate because obviously Port Huron was keying on that. I would have maybe tried a reverse or something. And I know that's the way the Port Huron coach also would have tried something like that, a little more sneaky.
Or even maybe a quick out to the back.
Yes, a quick little pass for somebody heading into the corner or something like that out in the flat. That works perfect because you're in so close that the defense is crammed together.
All right, so both teams now come out now for the kickoff. Could we expect maybe a reply to maybe the onside kick of Port Huron that started the second half?
That would be kind of a risky chance on Fraser, but
you never know.
The way that Big Reds eat the clock, that is definitely a consideration because they have to get this football back at least once.
Okay, the usual two back to return for the Big Reds. Tony Washington and DeMar Cranford, who they kick to. Washington takes out the 25. He's to the 30. Avoids one tackle. Avoids another. Look out. He's trying to break it. No. Smother of tacklers there. Among them, the usual 21, Kevin Wilner, who has been all over the place on this defensive club today.
He's had an incredible game tonight, getting his hands in on everything he can.
We have a player down, kind of shaken up. He's getting up now, limping. That's number 44, Mike Brown, and that's a big loss because he's been one of the better linebackers.
Yes, he has. He's been quite effective in their defensive style. He's big, and that's one of the things that makes the Fraser defense so imposing is that they're bigger than.
Well, good news for him too. I think the way he's limping off. That's just a cramp. Tony Washington, hand off to the outside, fights through the inside and gets about 1 or 2.
No place to go. Incredible job on Fraser's behalf for basically just plugging the gap that Washington thought he had there.
And smart by Washington there to go to the inside route instead of the outside when he saw there was nothing there.
Yes. Well, the cornerbacks stepped up to cut that outside route off, and then the linebackers kind of stepped in the hole. And Washington did do the smart thing by trying to change it up, but unfortunately he had just no place to go.
Okay, that makes it 2nd down and 8 from the 39-yard line. The snap, fake handoff is Ricky Johnston right up the middle for 9, and a beauty. They bought that one too, I think.
Yes, they did. That was a nice run by Johnston. He worked hard to get that, tripped up a few times and kind of stumbled for a few more yards.
So it'll be 3rd down and 1. It looks like a long one to me, marked at the 46-yard line of the Big Reds. If I'm Fraser, I'm thinking we got to stop them here very soon. This is good clock control by Port Huron.
Yes, Port Huron does a very good job of keeping an eye on the clock and knowing how much time.
John Scott, the man in motion, they fake to him, they give to Will Knight a big hole up the middle, keep going, there he goes, to the 40, 35, 31 man to beat. He doesn't beat him, but gets to the 20 nonetheless. Beautiful run.
That was incredible. Not only is Will Knight very good at running it up the center because he is so strong, as I've been saying, he's fast, and once he gets out into that open field, he doesn't have all the moves that Washington has, but he can beat you, and he did that.
More of a power runner, but...
Yes, definitely. That's his game. If he can hit you and knock you over, great. That's what he likes.
I think he's a good candidate for a player of the game right
Definitely. Now. Hey, both sides of the football he's doing very well offensively. Defensively, he did great.
Tony Washington on 1st and 10, a short carry maybe for 2. With 8:40 left, I would think the main goal from Fraser, don't let that team in the end zone.
No, now they have to put up a big stop. A lot of credit goes out to Port Huron High School coaches for using their players well. They've got Will Knight. They're not putting him in on every play. They're subbing him in when they need him, and he turned out to be a very important player in this game for them.
I will agree with you. They are very well coached, I believe. 2nd and 6. Give in the inside to Will Knight again. Look at him fight for yards. He's down to the 7.
He's amazing to watch play.
And I think he hurt himself. He fought for yards so hard. He's a real aggressive player. And he is limping off the field. Replacement by Ricky Johnston. 1st and goal from the 9 now. Look out, Port Huron driving again, leading 14-12. And 8 minutes to play in this game. They give to Washington, no, a fake instead to Johnson, and nothing doing there. Good tackle, number 67, Eric Cazzola.
That was a great job by Eric Cazzola. He got through, he realized the fake, and he grabbed up Johnston and put him down before he could go anywhere. On the sidelines here, it appears like Will Knight is going to get some medical attention from the team trainer.
We hope that's not serious. Obviously, Port Huron does as well, because that guy is one of the better players in this game.
Absolutely.
Washington drops back. He might pass this one. He does. Overthrows.
Oh, just over Scott's head.
Tender receiver John Scott.
And that's what I was saying. Now they might pass it a little bit to keep this defense from Fraser on its toes. And if they do, then that's when Tony Washington can get open and get up on his game. And then he's very dangerous. I've been impressed with Ricky Johnston today too. He's done a heck of a job.
Yes.
For them, as well as the 3rd ball carrier between. Actually, as there's been 4 main ball carriers this game. For
Yes,
the
there
Big
has.
Reds.
One play that I'm interested that they don't do, I'm kind of surprised, is the option.
Yes.
Too many men in motion, I believe, unless they got Fraser jumping offside, which I believe is the call, actually. But the option, I think, with all these good backs, it would work.
It would, yes, it would. And they have, the nice thing about what Big Reds have right now is the diversity of backs they got. In Will Knight, they've got a lot of power. In Ricky Johnston, they have somebody who can come in and kind of act as a diversion and even run with the football quite well. Then there's Tony Washington. And Scott is doing a good job for him as well.
Okay, again, the men in motion, 3rd and 5. That's 3rd and goal, actually, on the penalty. Men in motion, John Scott, the give to Washington. A flag on the play. Fighting hard, he's in. Touchdown, Port Huron. But there is a flag, so we'll have to wait and see.
They're going to call the touchdown off, so that's going to be against Port Huron, it looks like.
That's a terrible call.
Yes, it is called off. A big penalty there. They give it right back. That's a low blow, isn't it?
That is. And unfortunately, there's nothing that Big Reds can say because it's their fault. They've been doing this all game. I don't know if it's that they're nervous or what, because they come out and they do an excellent job, but then they commit a foolish penalty and it hurts them.
It is good to see Will Knight, number 34, checking back in, not as seriously injured as we thought he was. That's good news.
Yeah, you don't want to see anybody hurt in this. It's all for fun.
3rd down and 10 now. It's actually 3rd down and goal. John Scott, man in motion. Instead, they give to Will Knight up the middle, fools him again, and down at the 1-yard line.
He's on the 1, coach.
Well, Knight obviously not hurt too badly.
Knight came out and did what he does, and that he just went right to work there, smashed it up. He didn't run through the blocker. He blew the blocker, or he blew the tackler backwards and kept moving. That's how powerful this guy is.
Guess what, folks? This is the game right here. 4th and 1 from the 1. If I'm Fraser, I'm blitzing. Absolutely. Will Knight and gets in.
That's it.
Yes, he does. Touchdown, Port Huron.
As of right now, Will Knight has had 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. He's had an incredible sack and played some and almost perfect defense. As far as I'm concerned, Will Knight has made this game.
And don't go anywhere because he's likely to get more. Well, he's leaving now, actually, but what a gutsy effort after getting hurt.
That was incredible. He limped off the field, came back, got right back into his game. It might still sting. He shook it off, and he's doing great for the team, and Big Reds are feeling good, and the crowd is pumped.
And this is big here as Washington fades back. He's on a rollout, keeps going, A lot of defensive pressure, throws across the field. Broken up, and a nice play there by number 24, Brandon Levy. And that's big because it still cuts the lead to 8 now.
Yes.
If they got that for 10, it would probably be over, but.
Yes. Brandon Levy on the flip side has had a very good game for Fraser.
It seems to me that he does all the little things right.
Yes, on the offense, he seems to be breaking wide open and doing a good job running his routes. And on defense, he's the man who's in the back, stopping the long runs and breaking up the passes. Definitely a good Iron Man football player for Fraser.
Tomahawk chop being demonstrated again for the Port Huron faithful alike. But it is only 20-12. Fraser needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this one up. So they obviously need some good offensive maneuvers here to get back in this one.
And the nice thing about Fraser is they stand a very quality chance because unlike Port Huron, they move the football very fast. They don't play around with it. They don't try to eat time off the clock, which they might try to do a little bit now so that Port Huron doesn't have a chance to get their hands on it again.
Well, I would guess Fraser is probably the best offensive team in this league.
Yes.
For all around numbers anyways.
Yes, and with the quality of the people that they have on their offense.
Well, we have a flag on the play. That's, I believe, going to be against the Big Reds. That will push them back again before the flag was thrown. That's just stupid again.
Yes. This is the Big Reds doing pretty much everything they can to hurt themselves. It's what it appears to be. They're not making Fraser play. They're trying to beat themselves.
And that's just a stupid call there. Offside Big Reds on a kickoff.
That's foolish. They practice this thing 30 to 40 times every practice. They just sit there and kick the football.
Oh, they are kicking off now from the college football spot at 35-yard line.
This is a definite advantage for Fraser because it appeared like Port Huron was going to try the onside kick on that one. It didn't quite work out as well as the first one. But if they try it again, then that gives Fraser excellent ball position.
Fraser, deep threat John Hammer, and he is quite a threat. Look out. Catches at the 30, he's to the 35, pushes around blockers to the 45, out down the 47-yard line. You talked about it, yes, good field position.
Good field position for Fraser. That helps because, again, they don't fool around with the ball. They get out there. Their quarterback is calm and level-headed. Their receivers have a good set of hands, and their backs are just having phenomenal games today. So they get out there and they move the football.
John Hammer looks to me very capable for this Fraser club. They are again in the I formation. They've been doing this all game, 2 wide out set. And Sorgi, the give to Hammer, met immediately at the line of scrimmage and maybe pushed back.
That looked like it hurt.
Number 42, Corey Hunt, laying a lick.
Hammer came running up, and it looked like he just hit a wall. That was an incredible job by the Big Reds defense. Obviously, they are feeling it right now with a little over 6 minutes left. They want this football game.
And they're going to have to. Where the field position started out, they're going to have to really push.
If they win this game, the momentum they'll carry into the next game will be absolutely incredible.
Okay, so it's 2nd and 10 now from the 47. Port Huron showing blitz. They come around the end. Sorgi picks it up, and a beautiful pass complete over the middle. Number 23, Frank Shazinski.
That was an incredible pass by Shazinski because he absolutely 100% knew he was going to get popped, yet he still had enough concentration to hold on to the football.
And I have a feeling, Alex, they have that play all day.
Yes.
I really feel they do.
Yes. I can't stress that their quarterback is about as adult-like as he can seem for an 11th grader on the field. And their receivers are big. All their receivers are bigger than any of the D-backs that Port Huron High has.
Port Huron coming in again. This is the handoff. Look out. 25, 20. Still fumble the ball. It's still going. I think the Big Reds have it. And that'd be a huge turnover. They do. The Big Reds have the football. I don't believe this. John Hammer, a big run. He bobbled the ball. He's got to feel low now. That's tough, to the 10-yard line.
I was just waiting until that play ended to say that I can't believe that John Hammer is holding the football out in front of him like that. He is.
And I don't know if he's hurt. I would say maybe shocked right now. Other than hurt, he's laying down. I don't know if that's Hammer, but That might be a case of shock, really. He can't believe he did that himself.
I was just about to say, I couldn't believe I was about to say that Hammer is going to lose the football eventually if he doesn't tuck it. I hope for Hammer's sake that he's not hurt and that he's just, you know, bummed out about what had happened.
That was just a fumble, too. There was nobody that caused it. He was in the open. He was going to score, I believe.
Yes, there was one guy back, but he was way in the middle, and it'd have been a long shot for him to get Hammer.
I tell you, what a punishing blow that is.
That might have been the football game right there, unless Big Reds, for some reason,
cough it back up,
turn the ball up very quickly. Then that's going to be the football game because the Big Reds can eat the clock like no tomorrow.
Well,